Alright, it's still early in the morning. This is just a little intro to the following video on Dr. Grande and the Oprah effect. So this took me a while to do. I kind of take my time doing it because I do have other things that I want to accomplish. And I just wanted to give my opinion on it. When I'm up early in the morning, I have no filter on, so I hope you like the video. And please like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm Fitness David, and here we go. Alright, let me see here. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I haven't even prepared yet. I trimmed my beard though. Oprah Winfrey and pseudoscience. According to Dr. Grande, or Mr. Spock. Yeah. Completely logical, no emotional, sarcastic in his humor.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the relationship between Oprah Winfrey and pseudoscience? Oprah Winfrey was born in Mississippi on January 29, 1954. Interestingly, her name was actually spelled O-R-P-A-H, but people mispronounced it, and the name Oprah is what caught on.
False. Her birth certificate was spelled Orpa. Her real name is Orpa, but her birth certificate was spelled Oprah. He looks like Dr. Spock, or Mr. Spock.
Winfrey has donated a substantial amount to charity and been involved in a number of projects that have positively impacted society. Her relationship with science, however, has been one area where she has struggled. One could say that she has a poor relationship with it or a great relationship with pseudoscience. Either way is correct.
Is that a projection? Okay, so Oprah doesn't have a good relationship with science. What kind of relationship do you have with life, being is that you do everything from home? I don't know. Tell me. It's like trying to deflect the fact that you're not balanced because of the fact that she's not balanced according to you, and everything is based on science. Well, if it wasn't for people doing things without science, anecdotally, you wouldn't be sitting here. You know what I mean? Someone has to do something until someone does a study on it. And you're in the mental health field. What kind of science is that? That's not even scientific.
Winfrey promoted or in some way supported a number of controversial individuals who themselves had made claims that are not supported by science.
So what? I'm seeing a trend here that you want to be like her. Every time you get 700,000 subscribers, whatever, you say thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, look at me, I'm becoming famous. So it's like you're trying to be Oprah. You know what I mean? And now you're dogging on her.
Over the course of many years, Winfrey has used her various platforms to give legitimacy to fantasies about paranormal experiences, satanic cults, extraterrestrials, New Age religious beliefs, false non-scientific cures for illnesses, alternative medicine, and magical thinking.
Magical thinking. My God, the anger. I like how Dr. Grande just Dr. Mr. Grande, or Todd. Can I call you Todd with the comb over? Yeah, the anger, I just sense it. It's just like, making my butthole scream.
In 2007, Winfrey promoted a self-help book called The Secret, written by Rhonda Byrne. The secret is that people can change their lives through having positive thoughts or vibrations. If they have positive vibrations, this will attract more positive vibrations, which magically causes good things to happen to the person.
Magically. You know, if you smiled every now and again, maybe you might be happy too. And good things might happen. Unless you're basing all your good things on the number of subscribers that you have who like you criticizing these videos. You know, hate begets hate, you know what I mean?
The book makes several claims. Here are just a few. If you crave something hard enough, it will become yours. There's not a single thing that you cannot do with the knowledge in the book. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are. The secret can give you whatever you want. Seeing a theme emerge here.
I mean, I'm not into The Secret, the book. I mean, I'm just into you work towards what you want to do, you know what I mean? To the best that you can do. Some people need motivation. I mean, let's face it, like most people on this earth will not do anything. They'll just follow the crowd. They'll just follow the herd and buy The Secret or whatever. You know, they want to be told what they can do as opposed to looking within. And then the people who just watch Dr. Grande videos. I watch them, so. But I'm not afraid to call you an idiot just because you're standing here talking about science, everything's science. It's like teachers, you know what I mean? Teachers who are just proficient in one topic and then everything else, their whole life is f***ed up.
The book claims it's based on science, even though science is no way involved in The Secret. It should have a little sticker on the front of the book that says, "Now with no science," or "Science-free." That's pretty popular on food products like cholesterol-free, sugar-free. Here we have science-free.
Oh my God, I'm so exhausted. That's funny. Okay, that's a funny joke. You didn't have to explain it that much. We kind of got it that it was the same on food products.
In 2008, Winfrey promoted the self-proclaimed spiritual teacher, Eckhart Tolle, which caused his book to sell millions of additional copies.
Isn't it Eckhart Tolle? I don't know, something about Americans pronouncing un-American names. It's just, when people say Arnold Schwarzenegger, they say Arnold Schwarzenegger, or they can't pronounce it, so they kind of Americanize it. It's like...
When she was promoting the book, she said, "God is a feeling experience, not a believing experience. If your religion is a believing experience, then that's not truly God." This caused outrage among many people who hold religious beliefs.
So what, people are not allowed to give their opinions anymore? It's like this whole herd mentality, that's what peeves me. People can't think for themselves.
He once wrote that thinking has become a disease, suggesting it should be replaced by the inner energy field in one's body.
Thinking also causes hair loss and requires one to do a comb-over.
Once again, we see this theme that thinking is bad, and trusting people who offer no evidence that they should be trusted is somehow good.
So what, when people come up and they have all this science and then that makes them better to be listened to, it all seems like it's just like the race for who wants to be the most popular. Someone will go the science route, someone will go the non-science route, the anecdotal. People need to be able to make their own decisions and need to be able to critically think. What science happens in the present moment can change in the near future. Everything is not dogma, everything is not stable. Some things are, but it's like, come on, you need to have an open mind to things. Then again, on the other spectrum, I mean, don't get crazy, but don't get crazy with science, just as you don't get crazy with anecdotal.
Now moving to my analysis. Oprah Winfrey is somebody who has a lot of strengths and who has made a number of positive contributions. It's confusing to many why she is so invested in pseudoscience. I think this just goes to show that somebody can be smart, successful, and personable, but that does not make them immune to less than logical thinking.
That's right, Mr. Spock, but not everyone needs to think logically all the time. It's not always about using one part of your brain. If you knew that, maybe...
She was a true advocate of the pseudoscience peddlers who came on her show.
I'm still not awake, though. God, waking up to this. Pseudoscience peddlers. It's like an insult. It's like he's really being insulting. It's like really anger. It's like, what you're like, I don't know, a peddler stays in your mom's basement. You look like that.
Winfrey's show often had a positive tone, and I think she had a real desire to maintain that, even if reality wasn't as positive. There was a desire to deliver a message that would inspire people, give people hope. But that type of thinking can turn non-productive very quickly. It can take the form of fake remedies for illnesses, New Age nonsense, psychics, moral panic, and anti-vaccination positions. It is not harmless to think this way.
Here we go again. Okay, I'll give you that. True. You gotta be in your reality, right? You gotta be in your reality.
I don't think it would matter too much in most instances, but Winfrey was incredibly popular and continues to be popular. So her behavior really helps people to justify irrational beliefs.
So, there's the herd mentality. I mean, people are not going to be able to think for themselves. I thought I just recorded this and now I'm recording it again, this little clip. But hey, you yourself have your own fans, I doubt that a lot of them can think for themselves. So to blame it on one person as intentionally making people behave a certain way, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. People are going to listen to music and they're going to want to kill themselves because they think that's what the music says. They just want a justification for that. The Holocaust happened, because people followed the herd, you know what I mean?
So a while back I was consulting to this place, and they wanted to bring someone in to train the mental health staff in another area not related to mental health. The place wanted me to interview a few people so I could select one to conduct the training. There were only two candidates that really stood out who were both available and qualified at the time, but I needed to pick one of them. So I had a phone call with each one, like a mini interview, really just to see which one was a better fit for this particular training. I interviewed the first person. They seemed to know what they were talking about. When I went to interview the second person, it was a man who had years of experience in the field. I'm just going to call him Fred. He was already in business with the agency in another way, the agency I was consulting to. They were familiar with him. Fred opened the conversation by saying that he had been on Oprah. He said this even before he said his name. He was like, "Hi, I have been on Oprah." And I was like, well, that's good. So moving on, let's talk about this training. But Fred just kept going back to the Oprah thing over and over. Like he wouldn't let it go. It's like, I get it. You're on Oprah. That's wonderful. But we need to keep the conversation moving forward because I have things to do.
I'm going to record this again. This camera's dying. Yeah, I guess people had some childhoods, you know what I mean? That they need someone of an external source to validate them. But the way you come out of being so angry, like your passive-aggressive way of being angry, it's like, ooh, I do not want to be around you in person, man. I don't think I'd like that. Maybe you need to get out a little more. I mean, I'm not a fan of people who don't think for themselves, are not able to discern their own identity and to assert, through their own actions.
My understanding is he was on the show just for a minute or two, but it was like the crowning achievement of his career. It really was all he talked about.
Yeah, okay, I'll admit that's sad. Fuck, that's sad.
I ended up selecting the first person I interviewed instead, and the training never actually happened because she had to cancel due to an emergency, and after that, we didn't need to do the training because it was rolled into another training that was already scheduled, so it all worked out in the end. Sometime later, I was talking to Fred about another project, and he asked about how the training went. And I told him the story. I said, well, that person couldn't make it, and it worked out anyway. I explained it all. He said, well, that's why it's a better idea to pick people who are on Oprah instead of somebody off the street. So in his mind, all people were either on Oprah or not. And that is what made people different from one another. That was the major distinction in the human race.
In the human race.
I found this kind of funny. So I said, look, I noticed you mention Oprah a lot. And then I had to wait about 4 minutes while he talked about Oprah, just, again, like on and on. I said to him, you realize that she ran a television show, right? If you were on there, that just means that somebody selected you to come on the show. It's not really exactly an accomplishment, although it's certainly something that could give you a lot of exposure, and it would be an interesting experience. But I wouldn't want to confuse that with something that was truly an achievement. He said to me, that's right, she chose me. I'm one of the chosen ones.
People need their validation. I guess it validates the fact that they did something to be noticed. Blame the boomers, huh? Blame the boomers.
I think this demonstrated to me that the public is not the only group under the Oprah effect. The people who were on the show, the ones she promoted, probably often believed they were actually special. In a sense, Winfrey emboldened them. She made them more confident and self-assured. Winfrey helped create a whole group of people for whom the line, I have been on Oprah, is a statement, in their minds at least, which eclipses any of their achievements.
That I agree with. I mean, people want to feel special. I mean, they didn't get it from their parents. They didn't get it from anyone. So if Oprah can do that, so be it. Like I said, people are searching in this life for people to validate them. They feel so lost, they feel so unwanted, and they're not able to reach within themselves to get it. It's a hard thing to do for some people, for a lot of people.
Those are my thoughts in the case of Oprah Winfrey. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be interesting. Thanks for watching.
Same here. Please put your likes, your comments, anything you want to say, and share the video, start a conversation, whatever. This is really early in the morning, and I guess because I have no filter in the morning, I'm just completely exhausted watching these videos, or this video. I think that works because I don't have the energy to put on any facade.